Hello, good afternoon to you. Sorry about earlier if you caught wind of my earlier stream. My mom cut it short because I was being inappropriate, and that is true. I almost got myself into some trouble with her after we were just talking about how I got in trouble in the first place the first time a few years ago. So, um, let's talk about this reading first. Let's do this reading. I already did it earlier at around 7 a.m. And I would like to continue right now, and we'll have a chat afterwards because I wanted to send a message about what I learned about something that happened. So let's begin with the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who is in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive them that trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and face the flag and cover your heart with your right hand. Put your right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. It's important to do that. Veterans Day is coming up. Please be supportive and respectful towards our veterans. Thank you. Let us meditate and love God's law and speak it into our hearts. Let us pray that God will write it upon our hearts as well. The Ten Commandments. Put God first. Praise and worship Him only. Keep God's name holy. Keep the Lord's day special. Obey your parents. Do not harm anyone. Love the one you marry. Don't take anything that's not yours. Tell the truth. Don't take anything that's not yours. Tell the truth. Don't be jealous of what others have. Got lost there for a second. I got distracted. Sorry. Lord, let these words go into my mind, spirit, soul, body, and heart. Help me to ensure that I always practice what I preach each day. Thank you. And to sow into the Spirit and bear the fruit of the Spirit if it is your will to behave righteously and love others and bless them. Thank you. As well as these words, our family will love and accept one another, pray for one another, tell the truth to each other, and be kind to each other, to one another, bring joy to each other, serve one another, be patient with each other, comfort one another, forgive one another, be generous with each other, honor one another. Let us all learn how to be kind and hospitable to each other in this world. Thank you. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 10 through 18. The armor of God. Finally, be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Therefore, put on the full armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground. And after you've done everything to stand firm then, with the belt of truth buckled around your waist, with the breastplate of righteousness in place, and with your feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace. In addition to all this, take up the shield of faith with which you can extinguish all the flaming arrows of the evil one. Take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, with which is the word of God, and pray in the Spirit on all occasions with all kinds of prayers and requests. With this in mind, be alert and always keep on praying for the Lord's people. Pray also for me, that whenever I speak, words may be given me, so that I will fearlessly make known the mystery of the gospel, for which I am an ambassador in chains. Pray that I may declare it fearlessly as I should. Romans chapter 13, verse 1. Let everyone be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except that which God has established. The authorities that exist have been established by God. Titus chapter 3, verse 1. Remind the people to be subject to the rulers and authorities, to be obedient, and to be ready to do whatever is good. Psalm 23, King James Version. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Prayer for serenity. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardship as a pathway to peace, taking it as Jesus did, this sinful world as it is, not as I would have it, trusting that you will make all things right if I surrender to your will, so that I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with you forever in the next. Amen. By Reinhold Niebuhr. Hello, this is God. I will be handling all of your problems today. That's my job. Your job is to give them to me and then to trust me. I do not need your help, so have a good day. Thank you, and may God or Christ be with you all. I will pray for you. Please continue to pray for me, your church, my church, churches, this country, your country, countries, and this world. Thank you. I hope you all have a great rest of your day or night. Thank you for listening, and I hope it was helpful or informative and provided good information or help for you. Don't forget to read your choice of personal daily devotional book, as I am still reading My Comfort is Jesus by Red Comfort. I hope that you find one that you can read too, or also I recommend this one. I read it as well. Second step prayer. Heavenly Father, I know in my heart that only you can restore me to sanity. I humbly ask you to remove all my twisted thought and addictive behavior from me this day. Heal my spirit and restore in me a clear mind. The virtue of diligence. God of all grace, your word teaches us that whatever we do, we should do it heartily, as to the Lord and not to men. Infuse me with the spirit of diligence. Let me approach each task, whether big or small, as an offering to you. May I find joy in labor and satisfaction in completing each task with excellence. Jesus, you are the ultimate example of diligence and commitment, faithfully completing the work your Father sent you to do, even to the point of death on the cross. Embolden me with a similar drive to fulfill the responsibilities that lie in my path, not for my own glory, but for yours. You guide me to be a faithful steward of the time and opportunities you have granted me. Colossians chapter 3, verse 23 through 24. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord and not for human masters, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. John chapter 4, verse 34. Jesus said to them, my food is to do the will of him who sent me and to accomplish his work. Thank you, and may God and Christ be with you all and bless you all. But also, I will pray for you. Please pray for me, and I will pray for you if you have any prayer requests on stream or off, depending on what you request. Just send me a message or something if you want anything for me to pray for you for. I will be right back, actually. I have to go figure out what my auntie was talking about. I told you I was going to actually talk to you about something specifically in regard to what? You're not picking me up today and next week. Hold on, I'm going to call her really quick and make sure she doesn't need a ride. I think I understand what she said, though. Hello? Tired, sorry. Oh, dear. All right, well, let me know if you need a ride. All right, Mindy, let me know if you need a ride at some point. Thanks. Just let me know. Thanks. Okay. Cool. Okay, now let's get started. I think I need a little bit of a drink, if that's okay. It's 2 p.m. It's not that late. Ah. Okay. Earlier today, I was actually on the topic of why or what I learned from that time when I got into deep poo-poo trouble, uh, and what happened and what there's to learn from it, what I did wrong, what could have been avoided, what the real problem was, what happened, why I was wrong, and why I was right, what I did right, what I did wrong, what they did right, what they did wrong, so we can all learn from something here to improve ourselves or others for that matter. I think we should actually begin where I began in the first place. Instead of reacting like don't tread on me, castle doctrine, or the um, what's the other? There are a few things. Um, what is that other uh, law? It's like stand your ground. There's stand your ground laws at your own personal house, and it could be federal, it could be constitutional, it could be state, or it could be county. Even some counties approve of it, some states approve of it, some states don't. But it seems to be a very American thing, and I thought that was the right thing to do. But it's not the Christian thing to do. It is an American thing to do, though. If you don't know what it is, it's basically just saying this is my house, this is my land, this is my property, my rules. You enter my house if I let you, and I get to do with what I want with you at that point. I know that's kind of vague and that sounds kind of scary, but yeah. It's basically like a law that gives you the constitutional quote unquote right to murder someone for a just cause when you feel threatened, basically. Oh, it's like if you try to evict me, but this is my house and I don't owe you anything, I'm gonna shoot you. Okay, that's basically what the don't tread on me is. It's like I own this land and it's because of my fucking gun. It's because like it's a Second Amendment law that basically says my gun is my power. I tell you this is my house. You respect that, and that is all. I make the rules here in this house. Okay, so basically, I respected that, and I thought that's how we should all be. Yes, but it's not quite right, and the reason why it's not right is I liked the idea of having that much power in my own home, defining and deciding what freedom I have, what rules I abide by, and what rules you have to abide by when you enter into my home is something I actually like. But it's not quite right. As much as freedom is abounding in this, it's not Christian. That's true because a snake is representative of the devil. Don't tread on the snake is like don't tread on the devil. The devil wants to kill, steal, and destroy. And in reality, the truth is, castle doctrine is similar, and um, stand your ground is similar. It's kind of like I'm standing my ground at my house. You can't arrest me. You don't have any proof of crime. I am innocent until proven guilty. And basically, it's saying you can tell the cops to go home when you stand right there. And if they arrest you, they committed a crime. And if you happen to get into a confrontation or a fight and you have a gun and they have a gun and you kill them, you have the right to get away with it according to that law. But that I like that because it means you have the right to fight back. It's kind of like saying you have the right to determine your own. You have your own free enterprise. It's your free will. It's your free expression. It's your freedom of speech. It's your choice, and I like that because it gives power to the people, and I've always respected that, and I like that. But also, the Bible and Jesus and God don't really approve of it. In this regard, you have to obey the governing authorities. If you're Christian, you have to um, acknowledge that you're not always in charge, but God will give you freedom. Christ will set you free and such like that. So anyway, the thing is about all this is also you need to not kill people. That's also important, to not pull the trigger just because someone came over and you don't like it. Here's why it's wrong. I'll explain. That's why most people who make that argument and think it's okay and spread that information throughout the country and the world. As much as I still actually believe in active militias in America because we're built on militias and civil like disobedience, and I guess we were rebels in the first place. You know, we were rebellious when the British wanted their land back, and we fought to keep it for ourselves and say we want to be free. But anyway, moving on, I think Christianity is more important than being a rebel anyway. So, again, um, I don't always like being a slave, but this isn't about slavery, it's about freedom. You know, um, Christianity doesn't make you a slave, and Christ will give you freedom from the slavery. Anyway, what are you supposed to do? It's called hospitality, and I'll tell you the story of a man. I've told this story a few times. I keep it on my Twitter, and this is what made me change my mind when I was in jail for almost a year, and I was reading this in a little pamphlet from a Mennonite. What happens in this book? Well, you can go buy it or read it at some point on Kindle or something, but basically, a bunch of hoods or thugs or rambunctious troublemaker teenagers came up to this guy's house in the middle of the night, like 2 a.m. He's sleeping with his wife in bed, and he's like, "What's that noise? It sounds like someone's on our house roof, destroying our roof." And then he told his wife, and his wife like, "Is there someone on our roof destroying our roof?" And he's like, "Well, go get some food ready for them." Because he's a pastor and a preacher, he goes out and he says, "Hello, and how are you doing?" And they're like, "Well, I don't get destroying your house. Why?" And then he's like, "Okay, well, do you mind if I give you some food?" And they're like, "Would you like a meal?" And then they're like, "Sure, sure, sure." They come inside and they eat the meal. They say thank you and they go home. They stop destroying his roof, and then he goes and puts it back together. Okay, and that's the story of the pastor who dealt with some bad situation with kindness and hospitality, and it actually worked out, which is kind of like the right thing to do. So I wanted to teach you all that lesson and why it changed me from believing in the council doctrine, stand your ground, and don't tread on me, to realize that the Christian way is not that. That's worldly American way, right? And the right way to behave is to be hospitable. It's to invite a police officer in. It's to say, "Welcome, officer. How are you doing today? Would you like something to eat or drink?" To be kind and loving and hospitable. In this day and age, that's almost unheard of. And I thought to myself, wow, that's how I need to be if I want to be a Christian. You know, if I want to be a good Christian, that's how I need to be. If someone comes to arrest me, even I have to be kind, and even if there's no just cause, or I'm guilty until proven innocent, or I didn't do anything and they arrest me anyway, I have to be kind and not talk back. Or let's say they're talking shit to me like I'm a bad guy, right? And I'm obviously doing a good job. But I just probably the best thing you can do is keep your mouth shut. You're, you know, um, you, you know, um, you have the right to remain silent anyway. It makes me want to talk more sometimes because of my freedom of speech, and it's like, but like, that's the rebellious side of me, I guess. But like, um, it's better to just keep your mouth shut because they're probably just trying to rile you up so you can cause more dangerous or to see if you have a bad side. They're trying to pull out they're trying to bait you. They're trying to set you up basically and make you do bad things so they can actually have a reason for arresting you. I know. So, um, I'm sure they do that often and they're trained to do that to bring the bad out of somebody. But the real truth is you should not respond when a police officer is taunting you. You should just let them taunt you, be loving, forgive them. Don't respond with violence. Don't respond with cruel, offensive, mean language. Be kind, be loving. And the thing is, you have to learn how to practice what you preach on the fly. You get triggered to be violent. You want to respond violently. You want to say some words back, but you have to actually learn how to be loving and kind to when someone is rude to you and be hospitable. Even though you're in the back of the police car, you still have to be kind and hospitable if you can. You didn't let them in and give them food or anything, but they didn't want food. They didn't want that. They just wanted to take you away, right? So like in that situation, that's what that is. But let's say there's some robbers. They come in your house. They want all your stuff. You say, what do you want? We're looking for money. And I say, well, I don't have much. My computer is probably the most expensive thing I have. Do you need it that bad? I couldn't really need it, and I don't have insurance on it. But if you need it more than I do, I'm willing to give it to you. In fact, you can take my car as well if you want. What do you need? Not much in here that is incredibly like important or has sentimental value in this house is worth very much, and I doubt you want that. That's actually mine. I would rather keep this photo album of my family, if you don't mind. Yeah, and if they're cruel or evil, well, you don't bring it up, you know what I mean? Like a smart person doesn't bring up that sentimental thing, like, oh, don't take this though. This is really important to me. An evil person will be like, trash. Give me your wife and all your kids and all this stuff. Oh, yeah, at least you tried. Then everyone's like, you died like a bitch, though. Yeah, but you're a bad person for saying that to me because all I was trying to do was be nice, and you mocked me for dying by this robber. You wanted to expect me to be like in the movies and go some kind of like Dylan Gatling rifle or some shit. I'd pull out and go. I don't feel very much like a good person. There's like my house is destroyed with bullets. There's blood everywhere, just chunks of people everywhere. It was cool, but like I feel bad because God told me not to kill people, and they didn't even leave the house yet, so they didn't even actually technically steal anything. They just entered without my permission, but I kind of invited them in. I said, "Welcome," because I'm being hospitable, right? Instead of responding like, "Let me get my knife." You know what I mean? Everything changes when you become a Christian. This is way different. This is way different than what the world wants you to do. The movies will tell you to do that crazy shit. Gang members want you to do that crazy shit. People on the internet, even video game players, want to do that crazy shit. But like the world will tell you to do that, but it's not always the right thing to do because why? You could end up going to jail for that. You could end up going to prison for life for that. You could end up killing the wrong person, and in your legal jurisdiction, it might not be legal to do that. You have to check that first, and also not forget this: is God going to forgive you if you haven't been faithful? Are you going to be able to avoid hell for killing that person, for breaking into your house, for just stealing? There was no promise that person was going to murder you. They were maybe just going to rob you. You have to think about these things. Yeah. Breaking and entering is a big, serious crime, though, and you should expect people to have weapons and fight back. But you're taking a risk with your life, you know that. So if you're a robber, you have to understand that you might die. And if you're going in there to kill, you belong in prison or jail. And I hope someone catches you. So, but if you're just robbing them, I understand you're probably in poverty, but that's not the right thing to do. What do the Ten Commandments say, dear robber? Do not steal or take anything that's not yours. Ever. Even if it's small. And think about it. The Proverbs of the Bible also say, no one hates a thief if he steals to satisfy his hunger or his soul. So if someone comes and steals a loaf of bread or a piece of bread and goes, this is not mine, I didn't ask permission for it, but no one cares, right? I had a cookie here. I have like 14 of them. Some guy comes into my house and he's like, and he leaves. I didn't even notice that it was missing because I have so many of these. They're probably stale, but I have a lot of these. You know what I mean? Nobody cares, but some people do. Some people, including my auntie, it is wrong to steal at all times, but I stole her Cheeto Puffs one time, and now she accuses me every time she doesn't remember what she did with a bag of chips. Like, she had some, she's being unforgiving, number one. That's true, but also it is a good idea to teach me that it's always wrong to steal, even if it's your neighbor, your family member, or just a bag of chips, or $1 or something, right? So it's important. But like the other day, my auntie and I'm like, no, I did not steal your Doritos Cool Ranch chips. I didn't eat them. They're not in my trash can. I promise. I don't know where they are. And she's like, I know you did. It's always you. Who else could it have been? It was you. And I was like, no, Mindy, it wasn't actually. Truth be told, I did not steal your Dorito Cool Ranch chips. I have no interest in stealing your things after the last time you made a mockery of me in front of the whole neighborhood and told everyone I'm a thief. Would you please leave me alone? Okay, so she's the kind of person who hangs a thief and draw and quarters him. I'm not like that. I'm like, it's fine. I understand. You need food. You're hungry. Or even you stole all my DVDs. I forgive you, even if it was my favorite rare one. I can't get it replaced. Someone stole my key set. I forgive you. They stole my Sonic and Knuckles key chain lanyard, rare as fuck, from the LA County Fair, and it's gone. Yeah, I don't know what to say. And among other things were stolen from me that were actually sentimental and or rare or unreplaceable, irreplaceable things you can't find on the internet. Um, so, what you have to do is learn how to forgive people. It's not that you're a fool for letting people steal things from you. It's that you're understanding And it's not that I don't want them to be punished. I do hope I get my things back, and I do hope someone brings justice to me. And or am I going to report them? No, because it was like $12 when I bought it. Probably worth more on the internet, but like, so I'm just like, sometimes you get what you deserve. I guess is maybe I've been stealing too many chips from my auntie. So, um, but like I didn't steal those goddamn blue Cool Ranch Doritos, which I noticed that it was half open at some point, and I think she ate them and forgot that she ate them or threw them away or something. But it wasn't me. And one time she had her trash can like knocked over and there was trash all over it, and she blamed me, and I went, no, that wasn't me. I don't normally go in your bathroom, pull down your trash, and go through it and throw papers everywhere and be like, and then leave. Don't do this. She thinks I do this. And I'm like, why are you so rude to me? I don't know what that is. You know, I don't know if someone broke in, it was an animal, the wind, I don't know. But the truth is it might have been the wind because she didn't have her trash can at the time. She only had a bag kind of propped up and it probably fell over and the stuff fell out. That's all I can say. Maybe I closed the door and the bag fell over. Maybe. I don't know, but why would I close the door? I don't know. But like I do go in there sometimes, but I don't do that. I go in there and plug into like a pumpkin to test it when because it's the thing about her bathroom is like it's the old entryway. It's the old guest restroom, and there used to be mine, and I sometimes feel comfortable in it, but I don't go there to mess it up. I never did that to my own bathroom. I don't do that to my bathroom. Why would I go there to get revenge on her for some reason? I don't even do that. Like I'm not a revenge type of person. And I don't even do that as a prank. I don't know why I would, and if I did, I'd clean it up, and I don't have that big of a mental disorder that I'd be like, I'm a weird man. I forgot about that. Whatever happened, it wasn't me. I'm not that crazy, okay? That I'm aware of. Well, how would I know?